your right of relationship, your right of ritual, and your right of reaching out. Those 3 R's. You need to know your rights as domestic church, because that is what helps all of us to live the domestic church. So a big part of living out the domestic church, one, we have to remember grace supersedes both blood and outward appearances. So it's not how so much you look on the outside, it's what's happening on the inside. And that's where knowing your rights, your right of relationship, your right of ritual, and your right of reaching out. Those 3 R's. You need to know your rights as domestic church, because that is what helps all of us to live the domestic church. We start with the first right, the right of relationships. How are we loving in the family as God called us to love, or God calls us to love every day? When somebody gets you vexed, when you don't want to forgive that person, when you don't want to do so many things that you should be doing to help out in the family, when you're not talking to so-and-so. A lot of our families, we're not talking to each other for one reason or another. How are we loving? How are we creating healthy relationships in our family? That's your first right. The second right has 4 subsets, 4 important things that help us to live out the domestic church. And you're doing it already in some aspects. It's nothing new. We just need to spruce it up a little bit. Sometimes you need to give the plants a little manure so that they could grow a little better and look a little more healthy or healthier. So those rituals are work, play, talk, pray. What are our work rituals? Are we helping out in the home in terms of the chores? The play, do we make time for each other to play? Do we play board games or whatever games, Do we, find fun ways to do things, because depending on the age of the children or whoever you are living with, you all may not be able to play certain things. But do you find time to do fun, creative things? Pray. Prayer is the foundation of the domestic church. Are we taking time during this lockdown? We're in a second partial lockdown. How are we praying? And what about our talk rituals? How do we talk to each other? Are we talking about those difficult issues in the family? So those are some of the rituals we need to talk about. Work, play, talk, pray. And the third ritual is one of reaching out. When we experience God's love and His blessings and so in our families, we are called to reach out and help others. But sometimes it's easy to help the other person and to help out those in the family, Sometimes it's quicker to love those outside than it is to love those inside. How are we reaching out to other family members, in the family? And not only family members, but also other persons who may be in need. So remember, you need to know your rights, domestic church. Families, you need to know your rights. Remember, they are relationship, rituals, and reaching out. Know your rights.